when you come in to give an IV medication.
Like this is an extra one that was here. Can we practice with this one? Is that okay?
When you come on, there's going to be a primary bag hanging, and it may or may not be hooked up to the patient, because sometimes if you have intermittent IVs that are given at Little Company, they'll have the primary hanging there, and then the tubing is just kind of hanging with a plug, obviously, and then you would go ahead and flush the patient's IV, make sure it's patent, and then hook it up. So I'm not sure if it'll be separate or if it'll be already hooked up to it. But the primary will be sitting here because you're going to be hanging the piggyback. And it will be one of 4 medications that are there on the medication orders. So the first thing you're going to do is start the pump unless it's already pumping. Okay, and it'll ask you if you want to clear settings. If you know what settings were on there before, you can go ahead and say no. Otherwise, if you don't know which settings are were on there before, you can clear yes, and it'll be cleared for the all zeros. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and hang a piggyback. And the first thing we'll do is we're going to go ahead and grab our piggybacks, and they'll be handy that you can choose which one is the correct one, and go ahead and do your checks for your medication as per usual with the ID band. And then for this particular pump, you don't have to have the primary hanging below. Every other pump that I've ever worked with, the primary hangs below, and when we back prime, we actually just lower this below the primary. For this pump, when you back prime, you're going to be pushing a button that says back prime. My preference when I'm preparing a piggyback is to back prime, not to forward prime, just because sometimes you get a little bit zealous with your forward priming and you lose some of your fluid. And if that's a medication, you don't really want to lose it. So I do like back priming. So you're going to cleanse the blue port and attach your tubing, which you've already spiked into your IV bag. At that point, you're going to open up your clamp and back prime. And you just keep pushing the back prime button until it goes all the way up. And at this point, it has already done that. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and give our medication. The B port is the blue port, B for blue, A for primary, I don't know. Anyway, so B, we push. And the first thing it's going to ask, or the first thing I like to do is put in the therapy. You technically can do the therapy afterward, but for some drugs, the smart pump automatically sets the numbers if you put in the drug. So for this particular one, let's go ahead and say we're going to be giving pantoprazole. This particular pump, you have to go page down until you get to it. There are some other pumps where you can say it's between A through C or D through F, but this one you have to either page down or page up. And pantoprazole is here, but if I page down too much, I can page up to go back to it. And at this time, I would select down till I get to pantoprazole and go enter. And then it just asks you to choose what the calculation is, and we're going to be giving it in milliliters per hour. So let's select up to milliliters per hour and choose. It's set for the piggyback mode, so I want to go ahead and for the pantoprazole, I may have 50 milliliters, and I may want it to go in over 15 minutes. So then I can select down till I get to 15 minutes, and then it will automatically set the rate for 200 milliliters per hour. At that time, I can just push the start button. And it's just saying that A is stopped. Do you want to run B anyway? And we know A is stopped, so yes. And so on this side, you'll see that pantoprazole is going in at 200 milliliters per hour, and it tells you how much is infused. At this time, if you want to start A, because you're afraid you won't be here in 15 minutes, you can go ahead and start start. Okay? Yeah, the IV piggy bag is actually very straightforward. Just basically giving a medication with the added thing of the sterility of making sure that you don't touch any of the ends. If I had touched the end here, I would have to throw the tubing away. I can't just alcohol it or anything. Alcoholing it just gets rid of surface. I don't know. It does. It's not appropriate. But and stuff happens, and sometimes you touch something, and then you just say, I would have to get a new tubing. Okay. It's like 15 seconds. I kind of say to myself, scrub, scrub, scrub the hub, scrub, scrub, in my head. You do these little things. If you happen to be looking at a clock, you can actually watch it for 15 seconds. And I don't know. Let me see. I may be shortchanging. Scrub, scrub, scrub the hub. Scrub. Oh, it's only 10 seconds. I better do an extra scrub, scrub, scrub the hub. So basically, that's all there is to it.